limit.
The car is really fantastic and really fast.
Very, very fast car compared also to the other single-seater.
Between the Formula series, that's the best one. It's amazing how many talks you can have with a solitary giant.
A lot of fun, and I enjoy a lot this day.
I think it's a car that you need to try because I'm so happy for this day with your car. Fantastic.
Gigabit Internet issa f'Malta. Gawdi mill-Giga Power biss mal-Melita Flexi.
Reactive and easy to find the limit.
The car is really fantastic and really fast.
Very, very fast car compared also to the other single-seater.
Between the Formula series, that's the best one. It's amazing how many talks you can have with a solitary giant.
Fun, and I enjoy a lot this day.
I think it's a car that you need to try because I'm so happy for this day with your car. Fantastic.
Welcome everyone to the first, actually we can say that we have a practice session of the Griiip virtual Griiip car, and tomorrow we'll be having also a virtual race which is part of the real championship. What do you think about this, Adrian?
So actually, welcome to the stream of today. As Justin is well saying, it's something totally different from what we have, what you see usually here at World Pro Racing. What you're watching with us today are the real drivers from the Griiip G1 series, which is held in various tracks across Italy. So what you're watching today are the real drivers from the real series, now taking it up to the virtual series. As Justin well said also earlier, tomorrow there'll be also racing, and the points of the race of tomorrow will be part of the actual championship points. So something different, where normally World Pro Racing takes drivers from the virtual world of racing to the real world of racing, but here we're seeing also, thanks to Griiip and thanks to Tamir, this race practice session of today. We have 3 practice sessions actually today, and then we have the qualifications and races tomorrow, where we're seeing the real drivers from the Griiip series taking it up here on the virtual track here at Vallelunga.
I think Griiip are doing the way forward, we can say, for the sim racing world. We can say now virtual racing is very popular nowadays, and well done to the Griiip, because sim racing, and that's what we're doing ourselves as World Pro Racing. We are combining the virtual racing, sim racing, along with motorsport. And obviously, when we communicated with Griiip, this was like a cherry on the cake for us. So we were pleased to collaborate with Griiip, and yes, we are here today with a practice session by the real drivers of the real Griiip championship. I'm very happy. This is the first time that we are doing this, and it's awesome.
Definitely, it's something awesome, something great. The vision of Griiip, as you said, is definitely the vision of motorsport, where definitely also in real motorsport, the virtual world helps a lot the real drivers that go on track. So this is something that a great vision from Griiip themselves to even include this virtual race as part of their championship. We had very positive comments also from various followers from ours when we gave them the taster that later on this year later on this month we'll be launching the virtual, the Griiip G1 virtual series. A lot of them actually had tried the car already, and they said it's a great car and fun car to drive. So it's very promising also to look forward to this virtual series we'll be doing in collaboration also.
Also, it's very good to mention that Griiip offers the testing session that you can apply for, book with them to do a testing session in Italy, and I think it's a very good experience. You can experience it in the virtual world, and also you can experience it in the real world. Obviously, as we said, the championship that we're going to do, the Griiip Virtual Championship, the winner of this championship will win a testing day at the Varano track in Italy, thanks to Tamir and all his team, all his partners that are working together to make this happen, both to the real drivers and giving opportunities also to the sim racers, the virtual drivers in the real life. Because we can say that sim racers or virtual drivers, they deserve to be part of the real world of motorsport, because they are doing what you have to do in a real car. I mean, this esports, I think from all the esports, we can say that virtual racing is the most close to the real racing, we can say.
So I agree totally with Justin. I think it's the only esports available nowadays that from what the rig you have at home, you can even go into a real car on track, the same car on track, and definitely it will be a very, very near to reality experience. What it is, it's like today virtual racing, virtual practice is becoming more popular, even with real drivers. A story that I know, obviously I'm not going to mention the details of it, but there was a particular driver that went on a particular track in a particular motorsport, and all the people were saying, listen, how is he driving so good on this track straight away, etc., etc. Then they got to know that he did a couple of weeks before the actual race testing on his simulator at home, and that was the result. After that, a lot of drivers were getting their simulators set up at home and obviously practiced, and they were saying, listen, it is truly amazing, it is truly realistic, and it helps a lot in their driving skills also. Something good also, because some people don't have budgets. It is said, and it is even history told us, that some bus drivers didn't have the budgets to go into the real world of motorsport. They were discovered by some people, they were scouted, and they ended up also racing in the real world of racing and even winning championships. So that is what we're doing. This is something great we're doing with Griiip. I would like to thank again Tamir and his team for doing this together. I think it can be something very successful. And as Justin said also, if anybody would like to test this car in the real world, Griiip also offer experiences, full day experiences at Varano racetrack, yes, am I right in Italy? You just need to go to their website, which is www.griip, which is griip.com, and you'll have all the information there for anybody who would like to have a great testing day with these cars, great cars in Varano.
It's also good to mention that if you go to the website of Griiip right now, there are the registrations to the 2019 Italian G1 series is now open, and there are limited seats available. So if you want to know more information, you can go to the website griip.com. You enter your email in the email box, and you can receive much more information about the real 2019 Italian G1 series. So back to on track, on the virtual track, we can say now that we currently have 6 drivers: Massimo Paganini, Miguel Matos, Grippo, Yarin Stern, Marco Dimo and Mikel Santos. These are the real drivers of the Griiip Championship, which are currently doing practice session 1, and they're already setting up the times. We have the first driver, Massimo Paganini, with 1:10.682. These are obviously, they are setting up the car, they are tuning the car, setting up of the suspensions and various other settings to set up their car, and finally they can find the best form of their car and do their fastest time as possible. So the first practice session is now over time, and we will move on to session number 2 very, very shortly. Adrian, I think this is, I say it again, it's one of the next level of sim racing, when we are combining the real world of motorsport with virtual racing. And I'm not going to stop never about saying this, because this is what we've been working on.
This is something that we've been working for, Justin. Sorry for not interrupting, but it's a discussion. This is what we've been working for. These are our aims. These are our beliefs that from the world of the virtual world of racing. Some people do choose to remain virtually there and race in virtual championships. It's good to say that today there are great opportunities also in the sim racing world. We can see it with various F1 teams and other teams where they have their own virtual racing drivers. So this is something definitely important in today's world of racing. We're going for a short break. We'll be with you very shortly.
find the limit.
The car is really fantastic and really fast.
Very, very fast car compared also to the other single-seater.
Between the Formula series, that's the best one. It's amazing how many torques you can have with a solitary engine.
A lot of fun, and I enjoy a lot this day.
I think it's a car that you need to try because I'm so happy for this day with your car. Fantastic.
Gigabit Internet issa f'Malta. Gawdi mill-Giga Power biss mal-Melita Flexi.
Reactive and easy to find the limit.
The car is really fantastic and really fast.
Very, very fast car compared also to the other single-seater.
Between the Formula series, that's the best one. It's amazing how many torques you can have with a solitary engine.
Of fun, and I enjoy a lot this day.
I think it's a car that you need to try because I'm so happy for this day with your car. Fantastic.
And we're back for the second practice session, and we have Jaren Stern and all the drivers are out to continue doing their practice session prior the race tomorrow, the same time at 6 p.m. in the evening tomorrow. So stay tuned. Tomorrow we have a race, two races actually, two qualifying and two races at 6 p.m. Malta time, which is GMT +2. So make sure we will be scheduling the live streaming as soon as we finish today, so it will be prepared, so you select the notification, the get reminder, so you don't forget this race. This is the first race by the real drivers of the Griiip Championship. This is the first time that ever happened, and hopefully enjoy it as much as we do. Adrian.
I need to come on your channel actually, so I'm back. Yes, definitely, it's something great to watch, something different in sim racing. What we're watching today, where we have the real racing drivers here live with us racing this beautiful car. Um, Great start for practicing also in a Formula car. We had very positive feedback for the virtual car itself from various drivers already, because as you might know, we'll be launching very soon the Griiip virtual G1 series. But today, something different, something great from the real drivers of the G1 series. Here we're seeing them doing a virtual race, which obviously also tomorrow will count as points for their real championship. They're doing it.
Also, it's good to mention, because we are not actually real commentators, we are just commentating today the event. Tomorrow we're going to have our usual commentator. For tomorrow we have David Carter, who was commentating yesterday's Porsche final event, so definitely we'll be hearing a different voice, more than like an Arabic accent that we have, unfortunately. But yes, I mean, we're doing our utmost just to keep you entertained with this virtual race by the real drivers of the Griiip Championship. And yes, tomorrow make sure that you stay tuned and make sure that you watch the race. We have 2 races, 2 qualifying and 2 races at the same track that they are currently doing practice at the moment. So currently the first driver, the best time so far, is Mikel Santos with 1:14.101. Definitely they will lower down the time upon getting to know more the virtual car, but obviously they have an advantage together, the same. I mean, there's no advantage between one another, but obviously they know the setup of their car, so they know how to set it up much more than a virtual driver who doesn't know exactly how the car reacts.
That's right, and we're seeing the times down, that they're going down into the 1:11s and 1:12s with Massimo Paganini, who did the best time till now in this session right now, which is 1:11.258. Definitely, it's a great, not advantage, but obviously great to see these drivers giving the setup of their real car into the virtual car, together with their possible engineers, etc., etc. So it's pretty exciting even for us to see this happening, and we'll definitely see some good fun here in today's practices and tomorrow's qualifying and race. So yes, we keep on following, and now we can see also that Bernard Vella, who joined just today for the practice session, thanks to Tamir also for giving him the opportunity to be here with the drivers, doing a 1:10.398 with this Griiip car, followed by Massimo Paganin, who is with a 1:11.258, and Yarin. Now the third best time is Miguel Matos with a 1:11.379. Yarin Stern with a 1:12.076, Michael Santos with 1:13, and now Michael Santos with a 1:13.308. Grippo now did a 1:12.286, and we have Marco Dimo with a 1:14.727. But definitely this is a practice session. The drivers are still getting used to their cars, so let's see. Definitely it's going to be fun to. We remind you that today we're in the classic track of Vallelunga, where even these drivers have drove their real cars in the Griiip G1 Championship G1 series.
Another reminder for those that are interested in doing a testing session with the real Griiip car in Italy, and also maybe their interest to join their championship. The registrations are now open of the 2019 Italian G1 series with limited seats available. So if you're very interested in taking part in the real Griiip championship, make sure to go to the website griiip.com and enter your email, and they will send you all the necessary info that you need to take part in this championship, or to get more details and get to know much more about this championship. Currently, Bernard Vella, who wanted to join this session, and thanks to Tamir who allowed this to happen, is doing 1:10.371, followed by Massimo Paganini with 1:11.147. I'm sure that they can lower down more the time once they get used to this track, and obviously they warm
I
up
think
warm up the tires.
yeah, I think actually they are used to the track because they possibly raised this track in Italy, but yes, they're getting used to the simulator itself, to the virtual car, and obviously enough, we'll see better times as time.
Go one on board with Massimo Paganini to have a better look at how they are tackling the um, the racing line, and the different ways on between different drivers, how they exactly take the racetrack. And here we are following on board Massimo Paganini.
It's always great to look at drivers from the onboard camera, because obviously you can even, for those that are even interested to get into virtual racing or real racing, can also follow the driving lines this driver take, also gear shifting, you know what I mean, at what gear in each part of the track you're doing, how they take each corner. So it's definitely interesting to be on board with, especially now also with these drivers from the real championship of the Griiip G1 series. So we're going now on board with Miguel Matos. Let's see how it looks from inside his car. We remind you that for those that have joined us possibly now, this is the Griiip G1 virtual practice session, but with a difference. The drivers we're seeing here are the real drivers from the real G1 series in Italy. So it's a combination now where we're seeing the real drivers driving the virtual car. So unfortunately Miguel there, he lost his car. Driving the virtual car, and interestingly also the points, the positioning and points gained in this virtual race of tomorrow, because we remind you today we have only practice sessions, we have 3 practice sessions, you're following the second practice session, will be part of the real championship of the G1 series in Italy. Griiip, if you want to have more information about Griiip and also what they do, you can go to the website, which is www.griiip, which is griiip.com, and there you can find information about this series, about experiences they also give in racetracks in Italy, so and even about how you can get a seat in this car for the championship of next year.
as you can see, drivers are making better times. The more they practice, obviously, practice makes perfect, and the more they practice, they get to know the virtual track better. Obviously, when having a virtual track and a real track, obviously you are feeling a bit different in the real car because you have the G-force and various other feelings. But in the virtual racing, unless you have a motion simulator, obviously you're not going to feel these moves and G-force and stuff like that, but still you are controlling the same car. So basically you have to do the same moves and whatever it takes to keep the car on track and drive it in the best possible way to make the best time. So that's what we've been saying for a very long time. We're closing the gap between virtual racing and real racing, and that's the future. Michael Santos is currently trying to improve on his time, and he's going back to pits for maybe doing more setups and making the car perform better. Jaren Sterren, he's 1 second away from his from the best time. Still, obviously, we have one more practice session to go, so they have more time to practice. Obviously, I think in the third and last practice session, they will definitely do better times. After having 2 practice sessions of 20 minutes, obviously they are feeling much more better, and they know exactly the track limits in Vallelunga, the classic circuit.
So, definitely interesting to see these drivers practicing today. I have no doubt that even after these 3 practice sessions, they will still doing some practice after the sessions, obviously preparing for tomorrow, for their qualifying and races of tomorrow, which will count also with the Real Griiip Championship G1 Series in Italy. So we can see also Jaren Sterren now, who did a 1:10.996. We saw some drivers who actually left the server now. We don't know why.
I think one of them had some issues with the steering wheel. He said that he has some lag in the steering wheel. Obviously, it's not part of our, it's not part of the server or stuff like that. It's something from his simulator, and obviously, hopefully, he will sort it out, because tomorrow is a very, very important race. And as I said, tomorrow we have 2 races: one qualifying and a race, another qualifying and another race, and these are important for them because they are part of the real championship. So this is not something for fun. This is part of the real championship of the Griiip season 2018. So it's a very I think it would be very exciting tomorrow to watch it, and I'm sure that these drivers, once they finish from today's practice session, they are for sure going to continue practicing to make the best time in this track, because it's very important for them to get the points for the real championship. And who knows, maybe things will change depending on tomorrow's race.
Yeah, sure. Possibly things could change also for them tomorrow in the overall standings of the championship. But it's great to see them here racing virtually at the track of Vallelunga. A great track. We remind you, very soon we'll be launching also the full details of our of the Griiip G1 Virtual Series, which will be in our collaboration from Web Pro Racing together with Griiip. It will be a great series. We'll have an open qualification session for all drivers that want to take part, and then we'll see also a great championship on this beautiful car, which I repeat again, we had very good feedback already from some drivers that tried the car virtually on Assetto Corsa.
It's good to mention that next week we will be launching the promo of the Griiip Virtual Series. It is ready upon some stuff that we need to decide between us, obviously between World Pro Racing and Griiip. Once everything is finalized, next week we will launch the Griiip Championship promo with all the details, how it's going to be, the format, how many rounds, and very exciting championship, I can say. We have never done this kind of championship, and obviously since we've been we launched World Pro Racing less than a year ago, and we have gone far. So far, very great. We did very great championship, like the Porsche Championship, which went very well. Pity that several drivers disconnected, didn't continue to compete. We said it yesterday, Adrian. I mean, we don't like that. I mean, once you are in a championship, it doesn't mean that if you're noticing that you're not going to win, it means that you can leave the championship. It doesn't make sense. That's not professionalism. Being professional means not just winning the championship, but finishing all the races and finishing all the championship. Maybe next time, with this experience that you've done, you might win the championship next time.
That's very right, Justin. Going till the end in a championship for all the virtual racers, sim racers, we're saying, yes, going till the end of the championship will give you experience. It doesn't mean that you need to win, you need to do podiums, but finishing a championship is giving you more experience, more driving time, more practice, and as Justin well said, you can even then join the next championship the year after and possibly also do podiums there. So we also encourage you, for all those that they don't have yet this mod, download the Griiip mod. It's a great car. Actually, not download, but buy the Griiip mod. It's a great car, definitely to race. As I said earlier, even some sim racers have already bought this mod and tried it, and they really enjoyed it. It's a great introduction to Formula racing with this car.
So, second practice session is now on overtime, so it's almost finished. Just a few laps by the drivers remaining on the track. In fact, Jaren Stern just spun, so he's going back to the pits. Michael Santos is still going on, trying to do his best time, but it seems that he's quite far away from his best time. So we will soon continue with the third practice session. We're off for some advertising, and we'll come back with you very shortly.
This car is fast, reactive, and easy to find the limit.
The car is really fantastic and really fast.
Very fast car compared also to the other single-seater.
Between the Formula series, that's the best one. It's amazing how many torques you can have with a solitary giant.
A lot of fun, and I enjoy a lot this day.
I think it's a car that you need to try, because I'm so happy for this day with your car. Fantastic.
Gigabit Internet issa f'Malta. Gawdi mill-Giga Power. Biss mal-Malita Flexi.
So we're back with this last practice session of today. For those that have joined now, this is the last practice session from the special event we have this weekend together with Griiip, where you're seeing and watching the real drivers from the Griiip Championship taking it this weekend virtually. It's good to say that the points from this virtual championship of this weekend will also be valid for their real championship that is held in Italy. Griiip, a great car to drive. We have very good feedback from virtual racers who bought the mod and they're racing this car already. And I have no doubt that it's definitely a fun car and a great car to drive also on track. Definitely, it's a good start and introduction to Formula.
I'm gonna just give a hint to someone in Griiip. I think we should try it out and see how the feeling is in real life, right? Huh?
I wouldn't mind getting the opportunity to do that actually. So yes, maybe if somebody is hearing us would like to have a taste of that, even being there, it's great to be involved and look at all the activity going on during a race in pits. You know, engineers, pit crew, what's going on the car, setups changing. You know, it's a great experience. I've done that as I also visited various races in Italy. Great fun. It's very interesting and definitely this car is a good introduction to Formula racing for a lot of people out there. If you want to know about more about the G1 series and more about this car and what Griiip can offer also, because they do offer also their experiences, you can go to the website, which is www.griip, which is griip.com, and over there you can find full information about this car, about the championships, and also registrations for the 2019 Italian G1 series is now open.
It's good to mention that probably people know already about this, but for those who doesn't know, the Griiip Formula car is equipped with the Aprilia engine, and apart from the joke that we said earlier, for people to know that the virtual G1 virtual series that we are doing in collaboration with Griiip, the winner of this championship will win a testing day, a full testing day, including with the tires, the fuel, with the engineers with you. You're just like the king of racing that time.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great experience. You'll experience what these drivers we have here with us today do experience for every race they do with this car in Italy. So it's good to follow us and tomorrow be with us also for the qualifications and the races with this Griiip G1 series.
So 15 minutes remaining for the third and last practice session. So far only Bernard Vella went down to 1:10 and Marco Dimo 1:11.152. They're not that much far away from each other, the real drivers. So it really looks that they have the same sort of setup, the same driving style. You know, the time is quite close, as just Michael Santos, which is a bit 7/10 away, 6/10 away from the one before him. So I mean, it seems that it looks that they have the same style of racing and probably very close setups to each other. So it looks closely that these drivers race together.
Sure, it shows that definitely they know their car, they know obviously the track, and as you said, as time progresses, we see their times getting better. We remind you also on the previous sessions we saw some drivers who also did the 110s, like Bernard Vella did a 110 to 1:6. Tomorrow evening we'll be live again at what time exactly, Justin? 6 o'clock, yeah? If I'm
Yes,
not
the same
mistaken.
time as today,
Yeah, we'll be
at 6 p.m.
okay. Great stuff. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. we'll be live with the qualification session and the races of tomorrow. So be with us, join us, and have fun watching the real drivers from the Griiip G1 series taking it up here virtually with us at World Pro Race.
It's also very good to mention, because we imposed a lot on this, that in our championships we tell all the drivers to go back to pits without going back to pits by going escape and back to pits. These drivers, without telling them, they are going back to pits normally like they do in real life, and that is one of the things that we very do appreciate, because we keep the real life racing in virtual racing as well. So kudos to them, very well done. Sometimes you end up without fuel and you have to go back to pits without going back to pits like in real life, but obviously we noticed this, that they're going back to pits without even us telling them, without Adrian telling them, since he is the steward, the live steward of this race, of this practice. Before we did the briefing to them, and without telling them to go back to pits like in real life, they did without even telling them. So you can see the professionalism of these drivers, and this is one of the things, the best things that we really appreciate, and we impose a lot on it, to be a professional driver, not just winning a championship or winning a race, but being a professional in front of a camera, being a polite driver, being a professional in every aspect.
Yeah, that's right. And even today, that's what I told the drivers when I went to the briefing channel. I told them, listen, I'm going to be very brief today. You know how you race, you do it on the real track, so I don't need to go into details. Please respect all the rules and regulations that you have when you race in the real life, and you're well to go. So yes, this is also where we want to get even sim racers to, that we give them in the briefing, we give them, listen, proceed to pits, don't just disappear from the track. These guys here, these drivers here from the real Griiip G1 series know it all, and obviously just did it on their own, and they proceeded to pits without us even briefing them to do so.
And to add to all this, to tell them beforehand, for those people who are very interested in taking part in the virtual Griiip championship that we are launching next week, we can tell you beforehand that during qualifying and during races and after races, you have to go back to pits, not by going escape and back to pits, but going back to the pits like in real life. So if you're finishing a lap, you have to do another lap and then go back to pits. If something happens, if you are out of fuel, obviously there's no other way, but if you are without fuel in real life and you're in the middle of the track, your car is going to stop. So what do? You have to be towed. So make sure that you are you have enough fuel to go back to the pits with your car, not going back to pits in a few seconds, just escape and back to pits. We don't like that, and we are very strict about this, that this has to happen for each championship that we are doing. We have to keep it like in real life, and this is one of the things that we are imposing on, to go back to the pits without, like in real life, not going escape and back to pits.
Yeah, we do actually explain a lot in the briefings to virtual drivers how they need to get on track, their behavior on track, how should it be, respecting the appropriate flags, including blue flags, taking care of the first corner, and all this stuff, which is obviously something very important also in the real world of racing. So, for those that have joined us now, you're following the last practice session today of this special event from World Pro Racing together with Griiip. This is the virtual race with the Griiip G1 Series drivers themselves. The points of tomorrow's race, tomorrow's races actually, will also be part of the real G1 Series Championship that is held in Italy. It's good to say that tomorrow will be live at 6 o'clock, where we will have the first qualifying session of 10 minutes. Then we have the first race, which will start at 6:20, which is also a 10-minute race. And then we have the second qualifying session, which is at approximately 18:40, another 10-minute qualifying session, and another race of 10 minutes, following that at 7 o'clock.
One of the things that we need to mention as well, obviously we did not do this mod. This mod has been built on the actual car, and as you can see, the suspensions, the physics of the car, and this is coming from the people who tested this car virtually and said that this car is handling is very good, let alone the real car, how it handles. So we have a formula car, a fast formula car with an Aprilia engine, and having also sometimes people spin. That's normal in real life as well, so don't worry that people are spinning. They are not doing any damages in virtual racing, but make sure that while you're racing in the real life, you have to make sure that there is your life and the car as well. But since we are in 2018, the cars nowadays are fully built for safety, and Adrian can say much better than I am about safety.
Sure, these cars, not only the Griiip cars, but obviously Formula cars, GT cars, safety has improved a lot. Unfortunately, safety improves also due to some unfortunate accidents that happened during races in the past recent years, and that helps also the studying of the improvement of safety. But yes, nowadays we can say that cars have become really safe ones, and it's something. It has something really bad needs to happen so that a driver gets injured. So we can see also that Bernard Vella managed to break now the 110 variant. He went down to the 109.995. So that's great from Bernard. Then we see Miguel Matos with a 111.083, Yarin Stern with a 111.114, Marco Dimo with a 111.152, and Michael Santos with 111.971.
It's very good to mention also that tomorrow the race will be stewarded, it will be monitored by a licensed steward who is next to me, Adrian Figallo. This will be monitored the same as a real race, so if there will be any off tracks and incidents, they are going to be monitored. So everything is going to be monitored the same as a real race. So behavior on track, everything. There's nothing that we're not going to monitor or we're going to close one eye. This is a very serious race because it is part of the real championship. So Adrian is going to be at full. His brain is going to work 100% from the 2% that we use. So yes, it will be monitored very, very closely by him. And if there will be any penalties that needs to be issued, drive-throughs, whatever needs to be done, it will be issued by Adrian, who is a licensed steward in real life races. So yes, the race is going to be stewarded and seriously stewarded by Adrian throughout both races, even during the qualifying and qualifying and races, you can say.
Yes, sure. It's gonna be a very busy day of stewarding for me tomorrow, because actually in the morning I'll be also steward for a hill climb. So from there I will keep on coming, obviously, to our studios here and going stewarding these qualifications and races of tomorrow. I have no doubt that the drivers will behave themselves good on track. So I hope at least it will be an easy one for me. We'll be watching all details. I already briefed a little bit the drivers today to even watch their exit from the pit, because we observe in the virtual racing and also in real racing sometimes the drivers that go beyond the line and just join the track earlier than they are supposed to do, and that will result also in a penalty. So enjoy, have the last 2 minutes now left of this third practice session of today. Don't forget to join us also tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the evening for the first qualification session, first race. Then we have a second qualification session and the second race too.
As you can see, all the real drivers of the Griiip Championship, the real Griiip Championship, have lowered down and made a better time. As you can see, compared to the first practice session, everyone was a bit. I'm sure that most of them or some of them practiced on the simulator before, but as you can see, they were doing 112s and now they are 111s and 110s as well. So yes, they got hold of the car, of the virtual car and the virtual track, and now they are trying to find and do their utmost and the maximum they can to better their time, because this is important for tomorrow's important race, which is part of the real championship.
That's very right, Justin. Now we are 35 seconds away from the end of this third practice session. We have no doubt that most drivers will keep on practicing after these official practices on their simulators. So we remind you before the end of today's broadcast to join us tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the evening, where we'll be having the first qualification session, first race, second qualification session, second race, with these drivers from the real G1 series, Griiip G1 series that is held in Italy. So don't forget to be with us tomorrow. Thanks for joining us today. We're now in overtime of this practice session, so very soon it will be over, and we'll see you tomorrow.
So we can say that so far, until the overtime finishes, that Jaren Stern from the real drivers of the Griiip Championship made the best time of 1:10.948. we'll see tomorrow how Jeren will do in this race. It seems that he has done the fastest time so far, and we can say that we have to keep an eye on him and all the other drivers to see, because we don't know what we're going to expect in the races, during the races tomorrow. So we hope that you have enjoyed this race, this practice session, and yes, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks Adrian, thanks Tamir, thanks Griiip, thanks all the team of Griiip for this special event, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Gigabit Internet issa f'Malta. Gawdi mill-Giga Power. Biss mal-Malita Flexi.
This car is fast, reactive, and easy to find the limit.
The car is really fantastic and really fast.
Very, very fast car compared also to the other single-seater.
Between the Formula series, that's the best one. It's amazing how many torques you can have with a solitary engine.
A lot of fun, and I enjoy a lot this day.
I think it's a car that you need to try because I'm so happy for this day with your car. Fantastic.